Hey there, CIS277. Welcome to session 15, which is crazy. In this session, we are going to cover a big portion of chapter 17. The reason I say a big portion like that is as follows. If you just go down and look at what the chapter is all about, we can squint at it and say, yes, it is about the STL, the standard template library. Yes, it is about things that are built into and baked into C++ now, especially with C++11, in ways that maybe older versions of C++ didn't really get into. And I'm going to show you a bunch of the really fantastic shortcut, templates, frankly, that are built into the standard template library that you are going to use that are going to enrage you, because we are going to have this one chapter where we say, hey, remember those previous 32 weeks of C++ you've taken? Could have made those shorter. So it is a true statement. And that is what to expect here in chapter 17. The reason I say we're not going to go over everything is the textbook, frankly, doesn't go over everything because there's a lot of stuff here. And there are huge amounts of tables where I think I trust you to go through and be able to read them and see and understand what is happening. There is, the more I think about it, the less utility I see in me reading to you from a chart. I just think that is time that you could spend faster reading the chart yourself. So there are huge portions of the chapter that do that. So that is the first portion of this session, and that is chapter 17. There are only 2 questions for the chapter 17 material, so you'll see those here at the end of the module that you are currently looking at. The other thing to mention here is that between this week and next week, we have the final. What I'm going to do is publish it in the middle of this week. So that's going to mean Saturday or Sunday, just depending on when I can find time in my schedule. This week is another knucking futz kind of a week. And I just want to go through it one more time to make sure that I'm not using any unclear language. I'm going to just open it for immediate taking. I think that's the correct word. Immediately once I get it published, and I will put out a message to all of you saying that, hey, it's published, you can go take it. My hope is that after you clear through the videos here, after you clear through the code samples here, after you clear through those 2 questions at the end of the chapter, that you'll choose to clear out your final as well, because that's going to give you what I hope is an opportunity to go and focus on the rest of your courses. I know I say this every year. I know by now most of you have heard me say this 100 times. I know you're going to hear this again in the video that accompanies the final. But every one of us instructors does this exact same thing, where we are told the only class that matters is the one that I teach. And I believe that the only class that matters is the one that I teach. And the problem with that is you are taking more than one class, very, very probably. And then me and all of the rest of the Jackwagon instructors are going to load up on, here's all the stuff we need to do in the final week. Oh, by the way, and here's also a project. And oh, by the way, there's a test on top of that. And then we all get to see how many, piles of straws on top of the already broken camel's back that we can put there. And I just don't think that leads to a satisfactory conclusion for anybody. So what I try and do is finish our content a little bit early, and the way I do that is by eliminating a week off, and we did that here already for you guys way in the beginning of the week, or the course. You just don't remember that we did that. All the other courses had that MLK Day off. We ran Saturday to Saturday at that time. I was thinking ahead, so that we could get done on May 8th. That is going to be the date where the final would be due, and that way you have that whole next week of time to prepare for all of your other classes, which are making these huge unreasonable demands the same way I have to make these huge unreasonable demands. So that is what to expect moving forward. Here, chapter 17 with the standard template library, 2 questions at the end of chapter 17, which is going to be followed here in the midweek by the final. So that is it, 277. It's plenty enough. I'm not trying to scare anybody off here. The chapter is 90 pages, which is among our heftier chapters. But again, the bulk of the content is tables. So don't freak out. Just keep moving forward.